Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D4X today, like I do most weekends. 2D4X is a 2D4X game that I'm making that's open source in Godot.Net. And I switched to Writer recently, a couple weekends ago, maybe one weekend ago. Um, I'm clicking my chat thing. We are working on. We went through some stuff yesterday and last weekend where we messed with the .godot file, just deleting it regularly to see if we could get rid of some of the bugs it was having, and also it was just causing. So it's a long story, but it was causing some issues, and it we've done it. We did it. We got rid of the issues, and I'm trying to connect my YouTube thing. Doesn't seem like it's working. My YouTube chat. Sometimes it takes a minute, but it's not working. But sadly, I ran this before we started, and these 32 errors are still here. I've like tried so many times. There we go. There's my YouTube chat. So many times to figure out what is going on with these things. If anyone has any ideas, we've been through this. Some people think that it has to do with arrays. I don't know why I'm scrolling around. Some dictionaries. It's possible. I have used some dictionaries where I drag and drop things. I think it's a Godot error, and I don't think that they care that much. It doesn't give you any information really. Hopefully they'll be. You know what I meant to do was check to see if there's a new release candidate or whatever, where it would give us some more information on what this was causing this error. That's what I was hoping. But whatever, we'll just keep ignoring it for now. It's driving me insane, but that's what we'll do. We'll just keep ignoring it forever. And we'll work on things that we can, because it doesn't have any effect on the game. If it had an effect on the game, that would definitely be something, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So what are we working on today? Today we have this hero list checkbox, which yesterday I cut my stream shorts because I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and I was like, I knew it was going to be a long one, so I figured, fuck it, just in this stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I ate too much ice cream. Once a month I get a bunch of ice cream and eat it. I wish I could eat ice cream every day, but I would be dead. So what we need to do, it's pretty simple. Let's hit play here. I had this playing before I started, and then I ended it. So Douglas Cook here, that's my brother. When we have them recruiting, so they're not recruiting yet, but at 4 a.m. they will start recruiting. It needs to make this so that the player can't mess with this. Because we really need, and I was saying this yesterday, we really need the player to know that this is recruiting. Otherwise, they'll be confused why he's not doing anything. And we'll probably put like a notification up the top too to be like, this guy's recruiting. So basically, when that switches, let's go to the actual script here. That's going to be under hero. Oh, we're here. We're at the hero panel. Let's click on this. I'm really digging Writer, by the way. So when this thing is instantiated, which I think it's instantiated from a different spot. I think it's instantiated from here. Yeah, we were looking at this. This generates the heroes. Goes through this hero list of all of your heroes in the county, and sets this stuff up. I was saying yesterday that I would probably have done this different now. I would have put this all on this, and so on ready it would do all of this stuff. But we're going to leave it like this. If there's a point where I'm like, this does need to be on the hero panel, we'll move it. But right now it's fine where it is, I guess. Who cares, right? What's this thing's problem? Oh, it keeps telling me to whoops. What am I doing here? Control R. It wants this to be whoops. It wants this to be a lowercase I, which I actually think is wrong, but that's fine. We'll just rename everything. Try to get rid of these things as I go along. I get a lot of these. Oh, see, look at all these typos and stuff. What's this? Why is this a typo? Name label? Typo in word name label. Oh, this is a lowercase L. Look at that. We'll do the same thing. We'll fix this. Might as well fix the easy ones, right? Oh, now that I renamed it, though, I broke this. So let's go fix that, because I'll wonder what the hell happened. We need to build this. And we'll get into the real thing here in a second. I like to sometimes just go through, oh, see, now we got 30. Nobody knows. Look at all these things. Here we go. Faction name label. Right here. So glad I name everything the same. So it's easy to find. But what we got to do is, Stinglewings, how's it going? What we got to do is figure out what, when this thing comes up, we got to figure out a way to tell it to know that I'm in the wrong spot right here. It's nice. No, I appreciate it. I don't. I was actually thinking before I started, I was like, man, it used to be when I streamed, I could go the whole stream without a single person in chat. Now, and I was like, I was thinking of it appreciatively of like, now I like, so Sundays used to be worse than Saturdays. So if I got like 1 or 2 people in chat on Saturdays, they're usually 0, 100% 0. And sometimes you feel like you're screaming into the void, you know, and you're like it's not it's not like, do people care? Because I mean but it's like why am I doing this, you know, type of thing. You're a streamer, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's nice. So yeah, I definitely appreciate everyone who shows up, except for the jerks, which I don't get as many jerks as I used to. I don't know why that changed. Yeah, I feel like when I first started, there was a lot more people who would come in and make one comment, and then disappear. I would ban them. Maybe that's what helped, is I banned all the assholes. So let's see here. I was looking at this yesterday. I scrolled past this yesterday, and I was like, why is this commented out? It's very like, I feel like it should be uncommented, but I'm gonna leave it commented out. You know what? I'm gonna put a note right here and say, like, at some point we need to delete this, and then I'll put a little thing. Yeah, the bots are definitely, I've noticed, like, because I don't actually watch that many streamers, but the few that I do are usually like lower viewers, and the bots are fucking out of control. And some of them do the same thing I do, where they religiously, you know, delete and ban the bots, but other ones just like let their chat fill up with bots. There was one guy that didn't know what to do. Like, it was like his first time encountering the bots, and I felt bad for him because everyone was like, ban that person, ban that person. He's like, no, I don't want to. Joker, how's it going? The Devil Cube community. What's the Devil Cube? You mention that all the time. I never know. All right. So look, this one has this faction thing here. I think we need to write a new little method. This is like a pretty wall of garbage, I feel like, because it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. And it looks like half this stuff I wrote later and made it a method, and then the other half I just kind of left here. And I think I'll just keep leaving this here. But I think what we need to do, so this is check if the hero is not player owned. Check if the location hero is in another. So this shouldn't work. It shouldn't. Well, let's double check this, because we kind of messed with that. We need to go down here, actually. Whoops. And then we need to check on, we can click on this guy. Yeah, so it turns off that whole thing. So that works perfectly, because he can't recruit. Oh yeah, that video was great. That video was fun, and I was impressed by how you could, I don't even know how to turbo regurgitator or whatever pronounce it so many times. Lubin Turbinator. Okay, so I also think I'm almost positive that I'm going to change it so that there isn't a distinction between the army and the aid. I think I'm just going to be one thing, almost positive. So on this, we need to. So it doesn't look like I have anything that's like, if the activity is doing this, do this. Maybe it's one of these things. Populate activity age box. Okay, here's where we need to change this. This right here. Oh, look, this is dumb too, it says. We can make this static. We can get rid of this because I think it's less dumb now than it used to be. Yeah, the retro proto turbo encabulator. It looks like oh, is this an array that I dragged? Because we want to get rid of that. This looks like this is in hero prefab. Hero prefab. That's just what I'm calling it. And I'm passing this in. Oh, see, look, this is another typo. The B is in capital, and it knows. Go away. Hero panel containers, which we are not in here. Is this have an array? It's a list of hero checkboxes. Did I fix this yesterday? Aid activities. I think maybe not yesterday, but were people thinking it was real? So this is now a list. I don't remember if I fixed this recently or if it always was a list, but it's a list. And then we're manually going through this. But this is actually, so that thing got swapped. The thing got, oh, this song's all staticky. Whoa. No, yeah, come on, Control Z. We want case, all items, activities, recruit. But see, this is a different hero. I don't like that I made this. I manually typed this shit in, though. What did we call that other secondary activities? There we go. What are we doing here, though? We don't have a list of the secondary activities. We could get child. I've been using a lot of get child in my other game. I just given up. I've given up fighting it and just, fuck it. Let's look at how this looks here. Yeah, we could just get child right there. Is this running in the background? It is. How do we stop this? I do, usually add it to a list. So let's do that. On like ready, let's add this to a list first, wherever ready is. Is there ready on here? Do we have a ready? Update everything. It wouldn't be here, actually. It would be here. We would have secondary. Whoops. This is going to be hero checkbox list. Why is it hero? Okay, whatever. Secondary checkbox list. This is part of that is green there. And then on ready, we will just get secondary checkboxes. Yeah, I love that this thing spell checks too, because of my terrible spell checking abilities. For each checkbox in secondary in the list, no, we're gonna add it to the list. in this HBox container. Where secondary activity. There we go. Get children. Sure, you can cast it if you want. Yeah, it's surprisingly, like I keep saying, it's very minor. Like all of the things are minor, but it is like they all add up to a lot. And like I was saying yesterday, I'm surprised that Microsoft hasn't looked at this. Like, don't they look at their competitors and say like, oh, we should improve this stuff? And then over here, now that we have that list, we're gonna manually do something. 0.button pressed equals true, but then we also want to disable that thing so that the player can't fuck with it. That's kind of what we want. Yeah, exactly. You read my mind, writer. See, its IntelliSense is better. So this will disable it and set that. Now, there is another thing that we need to do, though, because that means that once it's disabled or whatever, it's going to always be disabled. There was some weird set default UI here. What we got to do is set that thing to enabled every time. We could, I guess what we'll do actually is we'll just for each through these checkboxes and make them. You're not going to do it this time? It's like we don't know what you're writing. We have no idea what you're doing here. For each one of these, that will be false. Why aren't we having to do that on the other ones? It's probably because this is when it's recreating these every time you do everything. So maybe we don't need to do this. Wonder why we had to hide these ones though. Let's just see what happens. We can write it again. It isn't that much code. It's not like we're recreating the fucking whatever. And then I wonder if when we put it above. So what I was just thinking about is like when here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Once it runs. All right, so when we set this to here, this guy is officially recruiting, but he's not actually recruiting. He's idle. Cheryl is idle. I wonder if we should kick it to recruiting right now when we adjust that. Or if we should wait. So like a lot of this stuff is like to stave off player confusion. Like, why isn't this guy idle? Why isn't Cheryl recruiting? But they are recruiting. That just doesn't happen till 4. We could fire something that sets this to recruit and sets this to, that's it. Just sets it to recruit. It would do this too. It would update this. Maybe we'll do that in a second here. Okay, so that's set and it's disabled. There was something I was thinking about yesterday. What was it? It was like, oh, what we were going to do is not disable this, and you could uncheck it, and it would kick it back. Yeah, let's do that. That's actually, I like that idea. I like the idea that I came up with yesterday. All right. So we're not going to disable this. Man, I feel like I'm doing so much. It takes so much time for me to get like a checkbox to work. But the thing that's crazy is if I do this on my other game when I'm not streaming, I'll just type some random shit in and it will just all work. I'll just be typing away. And if I have a bug, it's because I have like a typo somewhere. Or I have too much code that I've gone back to my code on my other game and been like, I don't know why this is here, and deleted it. And then everything works perfect. I think it has something to do with me running my mouth the whole time, like chatting with chat and like not fully concentrating. Like, how do my coworkers get any work done when they're in the office and they're all just talking to each other? All right, so let's see. What the fuck was I just going to do? So I was going to make it, let's run this again just to make sure that this is working how I expect it to work. Let's do those two things. Let's make it so that when you actually put it, we need another button too. So we need like 5 things real quick. Real quick, I say. So first thing we need is when we're going to need a, no, we don't need a button. We don't need a button on here because we can do it with the other panel. So the first thing we need though is this to fire off, this to change. When this doesn't match, like as we're clicking this, it should change this to recruiting. So let's do that. So that's under the population description panel. It looks like we have a couple of signals here. There should be a signal that's linked that we might change it to a custom coded signal instead of a signals also sometimes break unless they're coded in. I've gotten away from using the signals. What the fuck am I doing here? Update attributes. What's the problem here? Hides field. What do you mean? What do you mean? Rename parameter. Oh, because there's one that's already in this thing. Gotcha. We'll just name it to population. I'll wonder why later. Here's another typo. We'll fix it. I mean, it's not a typo. This is right. It wants me to do this way, but it's wrong. So the signal should go to something. There should be like on change of what's going on here. We're gonna ignore that. Update perks. I'm gonna look in a second. Where is this thing? This probably wants to be read only. This is in the hero panel. No, it's not in the hero panel. It's in the population description panel. Look at this thing. This thing's crazy. So we need to find the signal. Not that one. It's this one. Where does this go to? Number of subordinates value changed, but where is this linked to? It's probably linked in population description panel. Number of subordinates value changed. Subordinates, oh, I put it on, what? There's a script on here? I mean, it makes sense. No, there's not. It's under here. What a strange place to put this. I mean, it's not strange at all, but it's not normally the way I do things. In this game, in my other game, I just throw scripts on anything. It's crazy. Like I keep saying, it is insane how Wild West I do it in my other game, and everything just works out, and I don't understand why. Like I'm constantly like, why is this working? All right, so this also is the same problem as we have a population data up here, and it's, so we'll just say population, and maybe this new thing will, this new way I'm doing things, we also have a typo here. Sometimes I am trusting. It also occasionally does stuff, which I actually, you know, my whole thing of like learning the better way of doing things. Sometimes writer will suggest things where I'm like, this looks so bad to me, but it works and it's right, you know? That needed to be a capital B is what's going on there. I guess we haven't really looked at this. So number of subordinates changed. This probably needs to be static. Oh no, that's not what you wanted? What do you want? Oh, maybe be private, huh? Yeah. And you know, you can just do this. less typing. So this is the So I was staring at that like, what are we do? How are we gonna do this? So this is the signal connects this, and so when you're pushing the button on this screen, you know, that's what that is. So what we want to do is, like, if this number equals this number, we want him to go idle, and if this number is above it, we want it to say recruiting, and if it's below it, we want it to say something. Maybe recruiting as well, because that will just fire everyone fire everyone below it. I don't want to add another activity. Maybe we'll just leave it as idle. Look at all these little things down here. Yeah, this one we're going to get to it. I really like this too. This is like another small thing that matters in Writer that Visual Studio doesn't do. Like, because sometimes I'm just throwing, like, here's another one, but I have a note in here, you know. Some of these though, yeah, it doesn't know that we're using this in the inspector, which I wish it did, you know. But yeah, it's another like small quality of life that look at all these typos I got. Prim. What is it? What is the suggestion down here? That's the same. Primitive. 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 Oh, it has eyes. It's primitive. Huh. But we want you to be capital P. Primitive. I probably spelled that wrong everywhere. Yeah, exactly. No, I actually like that. That it's like, it's in one of my comments too. Imagine like, not sure if this will end up being used. Like, imagine if you were a professional and you were typing in comments and stuff. It would make you look more professional, you know? Yeah, all these are just like, use a comma. All right. I'll use a comma. I think this comma, though, is the controversial comma, right? This is one of those ones where it's like you can use it or it's one of the, English has all these rules that you can kind of follow if you want. What is this thing? It wants me to, it's like your English sucks. You should install this other plugin that will help with your grammar. Yeah, when I changed their thing so that it doesn't use underscores, if that's what you're talking about. All right, let's stop fixing these and do what we were going to do, which was back to this. So we found it. Oh my God, another one of these. Yeah, so we're going to have to do this. So the Visual Studio didn't have a problem with doing this, but this is kind of like, hey, don't do this. So I'm just going to follow whatever Ryder says. I am going to trust Ryder, like Joker was saying. So back to this thing, though. Number of subordinates change. What we're going to do is if value is greater than population data, well, this isn't going to work. What is this other number? What is this number? This number. Where is it getting this 0? I think that's that's part of the spin box, I think. I'm almost positive. Let's look at that spin box real quick, though. I'm already on the spin box. Yeah, I think it's the spin box value. Oh, those type of oh, no, I don't want to use those. That seems terrible. So if this value that's coming through is greater than the spin box value, do I have this spin box in here? I feel like I have to, right? I do. Number of subordinates spin box. Okay, that's actually what we want. So if this is higher than this value, then we need to change the population data. This might be dumb what I'm doing. This might be one of those things where I'm just creating pain for myself. I don't want that. Is this one of those internet rules, though, where this didn't exist until the internet? Oh, we needed something else in here, though. If this is like, get out of here. Else, update hero activity, idle. So if it's below or equal, it will just show idle. Yeah, I could see that. There's some. I sometimes feel like everything's written by AI. Like people just post everything. I had to write a job. What's that called? God damn it! Why can't I think? Job recommendation, and I did. Oh, activity broke. Oh, because we renamed some shit. Let's see what we just broke. Spinbox was one of them. So I had to write a job recommendation for. Whoa, I went way too high. For someone, and I wrote like a half-ass one. Then I copied and pasted it into ChatGPT, and then I took what ChatGPT wrote and changed it around so it seemed more human. This is going to be in our VBox thing, though, I think. Just double check this as we go by here. Yeah, number of subordinates VBox is what this is. Or Spinbox, I mean. Yeah, because I definitely wanted it so that when I sent it to the person who was trying to get a job, you know, when they were going to use it for the recommendation, I wanted to make sure that it looked. All right, this didn't work. Because this whole thing isn't updating. So probably what we could do, we could update that one part of it, or we could just update the whole thing. So let's just update the whole thing. I think that's under population description panel. Population description panel control instance dot update everything, or description info. There we go. Yeah, Do you deliberately, or you were trying to sound professional? Because I think that's part of it. Is you're trying to sound professional. Okay, this didn't work. Still, something feels different. The activity is being set. What are we missing here? So this is going to go through if the value that we're passing in is greater than the value of the spin box. I think these are the same, else this is idle. Yeah, these are the same. So what is this number? What is this number that we're getting? This must be off of the players. I mean, I could just look. I think it's this. But aren't we setting this number right here? So what if we put this up, we close this, and we reopen this? This never changes, this 0. Did I never set this thing? No, because this is set. This is pulling a count. Yeah. So this is a count of the number of subordinates. I just got to remember how this shit works. So this is if this is under, so there's like a list somewhere. Counts, number. Is this a list? What is this thing? Will you tell me what this is? It's an int. It tells me right there. See, it's awesome. Subordinates. Hero subordinates is an array of population. It's count. Okay. So if this is above this, what's your problem? Use the count property. What are you talking about? Oh, is this like a Godot array or some shit? Yeah, it's an array of population data. What? Why? Well, we'll not fuck with it. I was gonna fuck with it, but no, we're not gonna fuck with it. I wonder if this is gonna kind of lag things out. I don't think it will. I think I'm overly worried about that stuff. What was the other thing I was thinking about recently? I was playing a game. It still doesn't work though. If it's because I'm doing it wrong. That's the thing. It's because I'm doing it wrong. We want to go to here. If the count is less than the spin box, then we say it's recruiting. There we go. It was always hitting this idle thing. What's this thing's problem? Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, so like it wants me to do like stuff like this. And I'm fine with that. But I'm still not comfortable with this. I saw this in some other code that I wrote. Probably ChatGPT did it or something. And I was like, I still not really, like, I can't glance at it and think, oh, that means this, you know? Like with if then, but I'm gonna leave it that way because then I'm gonna eventually have to like lock it in. Oh, now we're down to 8 of those errors. See, it just fluctuates. Just gotta stop looking at it. Exactly, burning it into my mind is exactly what I'm. There we go. So now he's on recruit. So now what happens when we let shit run? Does it break? It seems to work. And he recruited something or somebody. So now the next thing we got to do is make this signal. When you uncheck this, it will make this number equal this number and go to idle. Because what we want it to do is if the player like has been sitting around, let's say the person's shitty at recruiting, they'll, and they waited a week and the armies are coming, you want to turn it off. So this is back to our hero thing. We need to close some of this crap. So this is another thing. You can click and pull to get to these others, but it kind of forces me. There's probably a way to make it so that it gets larger, so I can have multiple rows, but this kind of forces me to close things. Like, we don't need this open. Man, I'm surprised that, because you're Canadian, that's a thing, that you would know the British are coming thing, because that's like from the, like, did they teach you that in history in school? I feel like that's a very American thing to know. Like, it's a part of our American propagandization when we're a kid. With what's that guy? The guy who burned his hand. What's that guy's name? He was like a copper dude, copper guy. Paul Revere. There we go. Yeah, our kid show, and they indoctrinated you. Now you're an honorary American, all the American stuff. Yeah, isn't it Paul Revere who was saying that? I don't remember. See, that's my indoctrination's wearing off over time. What were we doing? We were going to make it so that you could uncheck that box. So that box is going to be in the hero panel. I think I'm just going to I think I'm going to stop doing connecting things through here. I think I'm going to stop doing that. Assassin's Creed 3 was in the United States, the early United States. I was playing Assassin's Creed Origin last night. That game's pretty. Like, it's for its age. How old is that game? When you're carrying somebody around, Assassin's Creed Origins, the person doesn't look that great, but 2025, no, we know. Yeah, I mean, it's 8 years old, and the main character looks great. And you can hang out, run around Egypt. I had to kill a bunch of crocs, I'm sorry. There was a lot of them, and I just killed them all. Like a lot. Like a lot of dead crocs. There was, just so many. At first, it was just like, oh, look, there's one. I don't really want to kill it, but then I was like, I need some of that leather, Oh my god, another typo? Man. All right. So hero panel, we need to put in connect the signal for that. And I think, like I said, I'm just going to write them from now on. I'm not going to put them in the inspector. Like, I think now I'm scared of doing that because they break occasionally and then I have to go fix them. So it's easier if I just put it in the code, and it's incredibly easy to write them. Connect button signals. This is kind of a lie though, because some of them are connected in here and some of them are not. We're going to say we don't have the button in here though. So this is underneath the secondary activities. We do have the button. It's right here. It's the first one of these. So we can just go secondary. We just got to make sure that it's after this. Yeah. 0. We probably have to, no, we don't. We want pressed. And then, whoops, nope, pressed. And then we're going to plus equals, what are we connecting here? This is the checkbox. This is recruiting checkbox. And then we'll create this. No, we have a way. What the fuck? Okay, we've lost. Something has croaked here. There we go. All right, it's back. We're going to say on recruiting checkbox pressed. And then we're going to go like this. And then we're going to get rid of this thing. We got, what the fuck is that? Why does it look like that? Is like insert pressed or something? Oh my god, no. Why does it look like that? What's going on there? All right, I don't know. Well, so on pressed, we need to secondary checkbox list 0, button pressed. Wait, isn't this a field? Yeah. If this is not equal to true, we're going to, why did you do that? We're going to population data. Is there just a population data hanging out here? There is. We're going to set the number of subordinates. Equal to the population data. Nope. Fingers. Dot hero subordinates count. So it's going to set that number of subordinates to the count if it's unchecked. If it is checked, then what do we do? Nothing. We don't do anything. Wait, do we do that? How many NPCs I can get on the screen at one time and still run fine? I'm going to look at this because I'm curious. That used to be like a test I did with like open world games. Holy shit. That's a lot. That's way more than I thought. So with open world games, a lot of times what I would do is just start killing cops. Just to see how many like burning cop cars, like so it's a Grand Theft Auto or something, and how many people you can get on the screen before they started de-rezzing the dead ones, just out of curiosity. And some of it would be very limited. It would be like 3 burning cop cars and 7 cops before the burning cop cars would start disappearing. But yeah, that's a lot. But, what are you saying over here? With a limit of 40 real AI and 120 high resolution models, we can successfully create a scene with 100 or with 10,000 crowded. Oh, wow. Yeah, I wonder what level. Like, can you zoom in probably and look from his point of view to? Those tricks are good. So now I'm thinking that the problem we're going to have here is that the people are going to try to check that checkbox. So recruiting is working. Oh, except we need to update this. Why didn't that update already? So on population description panel, when this, don't we have a on visible? What the fuck? Suggested name. It thinks that there's a typo in here somewhere. There probably is. Suggested name is. So if I click this though, is it going to rename all the other ones? Fix naming and project. Oh my god, is this where this is used? No way. No, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's going to fix all of these. So look, this one wants to do a capital C. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to do it one at a time. Rename. I don't know what the difference is. Which one what do you think it should be called? Inventory? and subordinate inventory. VBox container. I can't see the difference. We'll come back to that because I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, now I can't remember what I was doing. I was going to have it so that, we wanted to look, yeah, so on visibility, if hero button clicked, what are these things? Get rid of them. So what I want it to be is if visible is false, we want it to update the county info panel, but it looks like county info control, disable hero checkbox. So what is this thing doing? It looks like it's, what if we just put down here? Control, or what is it called? County info control. It says, how do I skip to one word? It told me this somehow. Tab to complete. I don't want to do that. Arrows? No. Info control. I just wanted to go to the dot, but instance dot. There's probably update everything. Yeah, why don't we just update everything and see what happens? There might be a reason why we're not doing that. Which part was the case? I couldn't see it. Was it getting rid of the lowercase I in inventory at the beginning? All right, let's see what this does. So yeah, I guess I bet you I didn't want to do that because I was worried once again about like the performance of updating this all the time. But I don't actually think it matters. Like this is a very, very small amount of stuff that it's updating. So this is right. And then you would uncheck this. And then if this is so that should set this number. Then this should be back to this, and then you uncheck this, and then it's set back. So that's exactly what we want. But I think what we should do is, we got to put this back here. So once again, this is just for the player. When you uncheck this, I think this should disable this button. So let's do that. That was under this thing. The reason why we want it to disable is because then the player doesn't think they can click that to start recruiting, because we don't want them to get confused. So, Badar, how's it going? So this, where was that? Where was that button? That is not here. That is here. It's right here. So we'll put an else. We'll put an else in here. And we'll say, I don't even think this needs an else. We could just have it get out of here, right? Can't we just have this return or break or some shit? And then we'll get rid of this else. And we'll say, wait. If this is false, this equals that, and we want to secondary checkbox. This thing knew. It knew disabled equals true. We don't even need this return. Just that's all we need. I don't think they can even get it. I'm trying to think of if they could make it. I mean, I'll leave it like that, but I don't think they can even ever have a chance of the way we're doing it. I don't think they're ever going to have a chance of making it enabled. The computer does it. All right, let's see. Recruit, close. We uncheck this and it's disabled. Let's check again. We uncheck this. We look at him. Perfect. I am using Godot with the .NET version with C#. And we actually accomplished something here. Let's make these private while I'm here. And this one too. See how lazy I can be? Oh yeah, and this is Writer. I switched to Writer a couple of streams ago, not days ago. So I think we did this. I think this is done. We actually accomplished something, and in my first hour too. I didn't just run my mouth the whole time. Badar, thank you for the follow, and I'm probably saying your name wrong, and I'm sorry. Needs to show the secondary activity panel when the hero is recruiting, and the recruiting button, yeah. So we changed how we were going to do it, but that is done. And then I moved this over here this morning before I started streaming. This is the one that was over here. We got to figure out why there's two of these panels, and I just figured better to do it now than later. Right? It's almost time. It's like 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Are you using GD script or C#? And if tell me why why you're using this. It comes up a lot. What language you've picked and why? If you don't have to, don't feel obligated. But it comes up, and I'm always curious why people pick, and there's people in chat who also are deciding what they want to use. I think as time goes on, I have less of an opinion about it, if that makes sense. Like, because people have legitimate reasons for picking GD script and picking C#. Go Godot stack with Go. What were we going to do? We're going to figure out why there's these two recruitment things. So that should be under the population description panel, I think, is what we were... Like, which one of these is in use? No, so we have this one. This is the real one, I think, because it's its own thing that slaps on top. Like, it sits on top of the whole window. So I think this is the real one. Where was that other one at? I just happened to notice as I was moving along here. I guess we can search. We can recruitment, recruit. What, is it gone now? What did I? What's going on here? Recruit. Recruit. Yeah, so here's two of them. See, this is the problem with this search. Once again, I love complaining about this search. Do they look the same? So one of them's a child of something. This is the child of the UI. So that's probably the right one. This is probably the right one. Hot loading is always nice. Never having to stop and start again. Yeah, I was actually on my other game. I've been trying to use this more. You know, which is not what you were saying, but yeah. Where is this other one? So this one, when I did that search, here it is. It's right here. It's under the battle log. Okay, let's test this real quick. Then I'm gonna take a break. So we need to get into a war, which is easy. That's easy to do. War is good. No, war is easy. After we test this, we'll recruit you as an army leader. And now, if we go to here, if we spawn them and go to here, why is yes over? You are a piece of shit. Uh-oh. Okay, so now I wonder. Oh, I shouldn't have hit yes to that. Well, we know what it would say though. What did this one say? There was a tooltip. It was a tooltip that said you are a piece of shit, but that was on one of the buttons. You know, I love that song. I think Frankie Goes to Hollywood, underrated band. Which I think that's a cover or something. So this one says Bill Smill. What was the other one say? This actually may have a reason. What is your title? What happens if we go whatevs? And we can see. That's not gonna, we gotta update this. Then I'm gonna take a quick break. All right, let's see here. So we turn you into an army leader. See, that yes is on the left and the other yes is on the right. Oh, look, the army leader makes this. Oh, you can check this, though. You son of a bitch. We need to make that disabled then. When converting a hero to a army leader, it allows you to check the recruit button. I have to put this in here or I'll forget because it'll be like 5 minutes from now. I am using 4.4.1. Yes, I suddenly was like, I think. I don't want to move to the 4.5 yet. Because I don't. Sorry, because I don't want to be there. I don't want to test it anymore. I usually I was keeping on like the cutting edge of it there, but I decided I didn't want to do that. So we need to go to here. Oh, this is getting. Wait, one of them said. I think what's going on is I used it. I didn't rename the thing. Let's turn one of you people into a hero. And let's go to declare war. Yeah, I don't think that's telling us what. I think I have it overwritten. What version do you use? Let's see here. The song that I'm listening to that you guys can't hear is terrible. Let's do this one real quick, but I am going to take a break in like 10 seconds here. All right, 30 seconds. I could just delete it. Right here, if we go to remote, we can see which one's turned on. This one is. I'm going to move this to my other monitor. Yeah, it's that one. This one's turned on. So in this, that makes sense because we want it to be above this, and this other one was in like the battle log. I'm gonna say yes to this thing. The battle log seems like a weird place. Let's go to war, but actually like get over here. Pause it. Maybe I should have. Let's do this. I bet you. But why would they be swapped? Well, let's look. This no yes button is like that. Not research. What the fuck am I doing here? Yes, no. And no, yes. Yeah, so I think one of these is just named wrong. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, though. And I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me put up my break timer and pause my music that you guys can't hear. I'm going to skip the song that you guys can't hear. I'm going to pause that. And I will be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I am back. And let me turn my break timer. It's always a bummer when I forget that, right? So my music you guys can't hear. And the hell were we doing? I was thinking about something else when I was outside. Oh, we were seeing that this thing's is named wrong, I'm pretty sure. We could also move this so that they match. Which one do I like better? I think yes on the right. I think we want yes on the right. Yes on the right. That's going to be, well, since this is easier to test, and it should swap it. And then we'll just rename that other one. Because it's a declaration of war, it looks like. I'm not sure why it's there, but that was done a long time ago. That didn't change it. So that one, what am I in? Oh, that's the battle control one. Go back over here. Let's rename this. Declare war. I think I just made a copy of it and didn't rename it. It needs some translations done to it too. Then this one needs this up here. And we'll see if that, I think right for yes. There's probably some reason to do, like you're supposed to do one over the other. There we go. And then we're going to turn you to that, and we're going to leave this open, and we're going to go down to well, now we have a declaration of war down here. Maybe this is a nothing. I'm going to delete it and see what happens. So declare war control. It would say if it was dragged and dropped somewhere, I believe. Let's make sure we're canceling. See, that one has the OK on the left. That's the Godot built-in one. What else would this pop up? The text is, I think it's just somehow got a copy down here. Let's see what happens now when we go to war. If we start getting a bunch of errors, we can always Control Z, I believe, our way out of here. I'm not 100% sure it will let us, but I've learned in the past is when I've deleted stuff randomly, it's, whoops, not a good thing. Yes. And they spawn their guy as they're supposed to. Let's run this war down. We're going to win. I don't know. I don't think we need it. We took care of that. Whoops. We deleted one. Hopefully it doesn't screw us in the future. When converting a hero to an arm leader, it allows you to, oh yeah, we got to fix that, I guess, right now. If the hero who is recruiting moves, then the recruitment ends. Oh yeah, so this is the thing we're going to have to think about next. I think for now, we're going to just have them stop recruiting. And probably we should write a method that is just like stop recruiting, and then we'll call that method from this, because we have a spot that is to stop recruiting. So, but it's just sitting there in some other code. So we'll write a method for that. So with this though, when you convert, we don't have any heroes here. Let's create a hero. Whoop. See, I went to the left automatically. So Pamela Hughes here, when we make you so we hit yes to this, we can check this. So what we need to do, actually, is on this recruit hero confirmation, we need to disable that button. Do we have anything? What does this thing do? It's been a long time since I've looked at this thing. We add him to the list. I bet you we refresh the whole thing somewhere. No? Recruit hero confirmation panel. This is kind of a big wall of dog shit too that we need to take care of. Like make it methods. If the population isn't a hero already, it's removed. So in here somewhere, look at these little warnings here. I should probably do something about them, but we're not going to. If the army leader equals, if army is false, the hell is this crazy shit doing here? Good. Okay, so we have so the first thing it checks is if it's a hero. If it's not a hero, if the population we get charged for a hero, which is fine. If the population isn't a hero already, then it removes it from the population list. So if they're not a hero, so why wouldn't we put this up here? Isn't this the same thing, but we're checking the opposite? I think this is the same thing. I'm going to fuck something up here. So it's going to remove them from the list. And then this is if they're army leader. If they're not, if they're becoming an 8, I think we pass this in or something. No, okay. This is some sort of bool that we pass in somewhere. So if this, I wonder why that was its own thing. I wonder if it's just like an oversight of mine. So if this is false, so it's not an army leader, it makes them true. It sets their hero type to aid. It adds them into this list. And add hero to all hero list. Now that I know how to do stuff different or better, I hope better. I would do this probably differently, but so then this is if it is an army leader, and then it's checking if there's like some sort of faction leader thing going on. It sets it to be is hero true. We remove it from the population. We remove it from the hero list and we put it in the, so I think this was set. Let's look at this again, how it was. Come back over here. One more. This seems very strange to me. So it checks first if it's not a hero. Shouldn't that be up here? Like isn't false? It doesn't stop anything. I'm gonna put this up here regardless. We'll fix it if we have to, but this seems that seems like the same thing. I'm gonna do this again. Except I don't want that. There we go. So then it goes down here. So since it's already gone through this, it would have set this as a hero. So shouldn't this also be up here? So it checks this first. This should be its own method. We'll just do that. Check if population is hero. We'll pass in a population data too here. Yes. And then this. The fuck did that thing go? We'll go in here. I'm probably breaking something, but we need a county data too. County data, and then up here, county data. All right. And you get, not you, and the player gets charged for the hero. All right, so it's going to check if the population is a hero just by checking if this equals, what do you want? Invert this. All right, that's fine. If it's arm, so we're passing in that bool. If this is false, population data is hero equals true. Is there a point where we don't? What happens if you don't have the money for the hero? Is that something that I never did? It seems like if you can, oh, you know what it is it checks. You can't hit yes. You don't get the confirmation pop up if you don't have the money. So that's where that's checked, if I remember correctly. So then it seems like man, this thing is a fucking mess. It seems like this should be just like at the bottom and just like set it to be true instead of having these different things. This is setting it to be true and then it's setting it to be true there. Like I kind of don't want to mess with this. Just troll the player constantly and insult the player until they I feel like there are video games where, what is it? Is it like Doom, where if you exit it, like calls you a pussy or something? I think Quasi-Morph has something like, give up and let the corporations win or something like that. All right, I don't really want to mess with this a bunch because this is not what we're working on, even though this definitely needs some work. But what we were going to do, so if this is an army leader, at some point, it doesn't look like it regenerates the hero list. So somewhere in here, we need to check. I probably just messed a bunch of shit up. Now I'm going to have to debug it. We need to check if it's an army leader and just disable that thing. In fact, we could do it in here. Ugh. Ugh. What is this? Not in there. Go back to wherever that thing was. Populate activity boxes is here. So it's when this switches over, so when you hire the person, it's updating the hero thing. Let's look at this one more time real quick. Make sure that there's nothing that I'm understanding exactly when this is happening. These stupid fucking errors. So you hit yes to this. You know, there's a way we can do this. It's probably better. So if we say whenever it instantiates this, whenever we instantiate this thing, why don't we just disable this and see what happens? So it should default to be disabled now. I didn't save that, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, so then let's pretend that we're going to recruit somebody here. It didn't uncheck itself. So let's do it that way. So if it's under recruit, it should have, we would go secondary check. Come on, man. I just want this and this equals false. What the fuck is this song that I'm listening to? You guys should be glad that you're not hearing that. I skipped it though. Did I redo this? I think I did, but we'll do it again here. Yeah, I'm still surprised. I feel like, was Assassin's Creed Origin, was that considered like a hit? I feel like it wasn't. All right, that took me too much time to think about. It was surprisingly easy. Let's get rid of one of these. Redundant control. What do you want me to do? Just get rid of it? There we go. It's gone. Redundant empty switch. Because it knows that there's 3 choices. All right. We'll get rid of that. Look at all of these things. Unpaired symbol. Oh. You know, I'm just going to delete this. Okay, I'm not. It seems to think it wants one of these or something. It doesn't matter. It's in a comment. Who cares? Except it's telling me it needs something. Yeah, it needs one more of these. But it's not true because it's going to change. I'll just deal with that one. Typo in word non-player. we'll use a dash that time, even though. Convert into, I don't like these, but we'll do it. I gotta learn, right? We'll put this down here so we can read the whole thing, though. Wait, what is, I don't see any question marks. I just am gonna assume that this works. Disabled. There's no question mark in here. There's no equals. So it's checking this and assigning it to this, I guess. All right, let's stay on task here. I often get, man, this song sucks too. See if we get any errors, and then we'll move on to the next thing. We're gonna keep creating, keep improving, expanding, 4xing. Just move, yeah. Just looking for bugs here. All right, everything looks great. Let's go back to our list then. This is done. We fixed this. Next one. If the hero who is recruiting moves, then the recruitment ends. Or maybe if the hero has if the player has the hero doing anything besides recruit, it interrupts the recruitment. What's the next one? If a person has been recruited, then they can't be turned into an army leader in aid. So this button should be disabled or hidden. So we're getting there. We only have this many more to fix. If a hero's recruiting moves, I think we already fixed this. And then I was thinking about changing how it worked. So let's rerun this so we can pay attention here. What did that thing say? Something or other? All right, so we want this person to be set on recruiting. So there we go. They're going to recruit 4 people. And we can turn it off. That's what we want. Wait, what was the thing I was talking about? Setting it to 0? It was probably part of this. If the hero is recruiting moves, then the recruitment ends. Does it? In that one, though, actually, we didn't want it set to 0. We want him to continue to try to recruit when they go to the next place. So let's move this guy, Rebecca Murphy. We go to here, and it turns off their recruitment, though, is what it looks like it's doing. And their activities move. But over here, this is still set. So then when they get over here, what happens? Okay, so it's broken. It's not working right. So they're still on idle. It should actually kick back into recruit when they get here. And it probably doesn't check till 4 a.m. That would be my guess here. Yeah, that's what it is. So what we got to do instead is when they reach their destination, which I actually think this is called, is like reach destination type thing. Population description. So we're gonna look at some code that we haven't looked at in a long time. We might have glanced at it recently, but gotta skip another song here. So that is going to be under move token or something like that. Token movement. So there should be, okay, these things are stacking up. What do you want done here? Use expression. Is this where it's going to put a lambda in there? It is. I don't know why it wants that sometimes. It doesn't make any sense to me. Start movement. What's your problem here? Oh, it wants us to have a little d. A little d. We're just going with it. So this is start movement. Check for defenders. Defender on the way. Check if retreating. Move. Reach destination. That's what I almost always call this. That's why I knew what this was called. Is because I almost always call it that. So if county destination faction data equals the token faction data. So what this is doing is it's checking to see if the hero is in a friendly county. So if this is where we want to do this, hero reached or army reached. So there are differences. Once again, we're to that thing where I'm like, I wish I hadn't split these apart. So what happens if it's an army? We gotta restart it here. So if it's an army, I'm betting it's gonna be showing recruit. So we're gonna convert you to an army. We're gonna spawn you. Yeah, see we gotta put you on recruit though. So we can turn off recruit. We're gonna move and it's gonna disable that whole thing, and the recruit button went away, which is actually what we want. And then here, it's still recruit is off, even though it should be on. So what we gotta do, so for both of these, and the only thing that's different about these two is it's adding it to different lists. Whoops, I didn't want to click that. All right, it's fine. So what we need to do is write a method that that continues recruiting. We already have one, because if we wait till 4 in the morning, it's going to fire off here. Okay, it's not going to fire off there. Probably because he's an army. Yeah, it doesn't... Something weird. We got to fix something. You're still on idle. Because, you know why? Because it's only checking the hero list. We didn't plan this out. I'm blaming everyone but myself. We didn't plan this out. It's got to check the heroes as well. So we need to go back to our county script, and it's only checking. I wonder how many times I've done that. It wants me to rename this to county AI. Whoops. Hopefully that updated. It did not. I'm clicking you. I feel a sneeze coming on. All right, so on this thing, this is going to be, this is like a fatal mistake that I've done here. Because this is going to be this is going to throw a wrench in a bunch of stuff. Actually, maybe not. Check for recruitment. If the hero isn't moving, then recruit. See, we're I don't know what this is. Where did this go? What is this thing? So we're only checking the heroes in the county list, but we need to also check the armies in the county list. Man, this would have been much easier if I had not made them separate. At some point, we're going to have to combine them. And that's going to be a pain. If the hero isn't moving, then recruit. This isn't that crazy. For a second, I thought we were going to have, like, this part was also a part of it. Look at all that. But we just need to have it check. We need to have it check both lists. I'm going to ask ChatGPT what it tells me. What is up with this thing? I'm going to put it here because I want to see if it's... Yeah, it's not copying. I want it to check two different lists, and maybe it will have a way of doing that I don't know about. I want this line to check two lists. You can concatenate the two lists using concates before applying the what? What does that even mean? Concate? Never even heard of that. See, this is why I asked ChatGPT stuff. Concate? What is concate? It looks like you can do it with a list, yeah, or with a string too. How do you concatenate lists? This is 15 years ago. I don't want that. I want, like, yeah. I want some words from actual Microsoft to see what they say. Sometimes these are good. Most of the times I think these are pretty good. It's very dry. This one doesn't have, well, I guess there's the description. What is the definition of this word? The reason why I can get it from context, but I want to say link things together in a chain or series. Okay. I want to make sure that it doesn't mean something. A lot of times I'm running into C# stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, this works this way. And then it turns out there's like a secret hidden thing that I didn't know about. So, all right. So it just does what it says. So what was it saying to do? What was this monster? So I just put this thing at the end? Really? It's gonna be armies. I've done this so many times, man, where I check it twice. I don't think this is working, right? Armies in county list. We needed this. That's all it's gonna do is just add that to the end? I don't believe it. Adds the army list to the end of the hero list. And Casper, how's it going? Then checks both of them. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let's see. How are we going to test this? We're going to move. And then we got to make them an army, move to an allied, to a, not allied, army leader. We got to go over here. We're going to go here. And then we got to wait till 4 o'clock once they get there. And we're going to be clicked on this, though. Oh, we forgot a step. We got to restart. I guess I actually didn't need to restart. I could have just moved them back. Just moved them back. Not allied fiefdom. Something. Army leader. Yes. 5 people. So this is working exactly how we want it. We got to spawn them, move over to here. Yeah, that should be off because they're moving. And then we got to click on this, and we got to go to here. All right, so that actually works. I think I've done this like 10 times at this point where I check the list twice. In fact, I think I saw one earlier. It was under county. All the things I don't know would sure make... Here's one. I could have done this in one go. Let's see. Can I do it right here? Oh my God. Why didn't anybody tell me? It's your guys' fault. All right, it doesn't like this one. Why don't you like this? Is this passing in? What are we doing in here? Is this some Godot thing? Oh, that's so we can look at it. I'm not going to actually do this yet, but I was just curious. Oh, I can't do it because it's a Godot collection. See, this is why we want to keep them C# lists when we can. What about... But that one we need because we want to look at it. We want to be able to look at it in the inspector later. So we can't do that, but that's a good thing to know right there. But that makes me think about something. That other one would let us do it. So something... We don't need to save that list? I feel like we need to save that list. That's under faction data? I don't know if we're going to be able to use the resource saver. I've been using the resource saver in my other game, and it works so well. I cannot believe how I just save all the time. Where are we going here? We need resources. Counties? No, factions. We need faction data here, though. What is this thing? I don't need to right now, but I was able to I was able to do that just now, and I didn't know you could do that. With that concate thing. These are exported, so and they're array. Oh no, that's not what we were looking at. We were looking at where are we at here? Where did I do it? It was in the county data, actually, not in the faction data. These are Godot arrays. And it let us do it. So then why isn't it letting us do it? I was just curious if I could have made this a list, or one thing instead of, maybe it wanted, no, it would have done something else. Why does it not like this? I was curious because I did it once. System population data is not assignable. One of these is different than the other ones, I think is what it's saying. Or what are we passing in here? No, this is also a Godot array of population data. Array of population data. What is the suggested fix? Change type of calls. Well, lets me do that. I don't know what I changed. Or I don't know what writer changed. We're going to put this back, though. I was just curious. Well, learn something new every day. I'm like kind of surprised that it's that easy, honestly. Because I kind of do that a lot. Not a lot, but I kind of I do this. I mean, I guess it looks better like this, but it would be, we could have ran this once, because it's just running the same thing 3 times, because I didn't know that I could make it one big list or whatever. It's unimportant right now. I just figured I learned something new. Might as well see if I could use it in other places. So what we got to fix now, though, is when this guy gets here, it needs to update this and start. It needs to go to recruit so the player knows that he's not actually idle. So that was back to this token movement thing. We can close this. We don't need this. We don't need this. We actually might need that at recruiter. Oh, we can close this other crap. We don't need this. So when army or hero reaches the destination, we need to check. We need to check the thing we wrote it earlier. We don't need this open either. Where the fuck was that though? Hero panel. Well, it's kind of a bad idea in terms of performance. Memory garbage collection. It will create new list arrays to use it once and destroy. Oh, concade is bad. Or the having it do the same thing 3 times. So did I accidentally do something right? Is what you're saying? I was right all along? Hero panel container. We just wrote this thing. What is going on here? I'm just going to delete this. We don't need that crap. So this, though, is... Where did I just write that? I think it was under... So when you're checking, it was under the population description panel is where it was, because it's when you're adjusting the, and we'll move it to like the recruiter or something, because I don't think we need it. We don't want it in here because we're going to use it again. That's good to know. I didn't think about the performance issues. I guess I do want this. This thing is where we were messing with that. It wasn't there. It was under update activities. It was under, it's probably at the top because I just added it. Oh no, it had its own thing. It had its own script. I forgot that I stuck this script on here for some reason. Down here. It's not there. It's right here. So this, we update the activity. Update number of subordinates. No. This is the update activity to recruit if that thing is, this is happening every time it's changed. So this is where we need to put the, is it always idle? It is, I think. This is where we need to make this its own method. And we need to set this probably actually in that recruiter public class, because that will make, I think that thing's a public class. I'm in the Wrong spot here. The recruiter will check, because we're going to need to call it from over here. What's your problem now? Yeah, I know. Check for recruitment. This is check if this, really? You can be private? All right. I'm just going to stick this some random spot. So yeah, that's going to be public void check for recruiting. And then we'll, oh, damn it. I deleted a line. So I did Control X to delete a line, and it blew away my whatchamacallit, my clipboard. Where was the recruiter? So we're needing a population data passed in. This needs to be a capital P though. And we're gonna need a value passed in, because we're gonna use this in two different spots, so we're not gonna know the spin. We're gonna need an int called value, and we're gonna put this, and then we're gonna be good there. Then we're gonna go back to our subordinates thing, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go delete. Those are very similarly named. I know. We're gonna rename that. This is like Spinbox or something. What, are you not an ant? You're a fucking float. Sorry. I remember going on a diatribe of why this is a float. I was like, God damn it. Can I turn off the float thing? And I couldn't. Check for recruiting activity. All right, so we got to test this here, but let's put it in where it's supposed to go, over here. And so we're going to go recruiter, check. Do we have the information we need for this? We need to pass in a population data, which we have. I don't know why it wants to put that thing there. And why are you complaining about this? Oh, because we don't have one. And we need a value, which actually is going to be in here. In this case, it's going to be under token population data dot subordinates counts. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, because we're checking against that. What value do we need to check against then? This is the counts. We have this other value. I know where it is. We have, where are you going? Where'd you go, recruiter? This, nope, not recruiter. Token movement. This should be something as subordinates, number of subordinates. So we're going to check their number of subordinates that they want to have versus the count, and then we'll copy this. See, this is the same in both of these. I don't like that. We're going to look at those messages in a minute because they're starting to annoy me. Holy shit, another hour has passed. Every time, so I spot check my videos, like just to make sure that like I something crazy didn't happen, like my voice didn't cut out or something. In one video, I actually saw that my camera for like 30 minutes just turned into a big blob, and I didn't notice it at all over here. But every time I spot check, it's just me sitting there silently, like looking at something. I feel like I talk a lot, and it's always me skipping and hitting the spots where I'm just like staring at the screen. All right, so first things we need to do is check this thing to make sure it's working. So we're on recruit. This is looking correct. We're going to let 4 a.m. run by just to double check. We have recruited somebody. So John Moore there. Then we're going to move. Well, we got to go to here. And then when he reaches his destination, it should hit. It did not work because he should be recruiting. So he should continue when he gets there. So there's something wrong with check for recruitment activity. What is his activity here? Is he idle or yeah, he's idle. So there's something wrong. This is like number of subordinates that he wants versus the counts, which is 1. So this is a higher number. And this doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't mean anything. So is this question mark? Let's ask ChatGPT, because like what is the true part? Like I said, I got to get familiar with it. So this is a perfect time for me to get familiar with these question mark colon bullshit. Which thing is true? Which thing happens when this is true? And I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna pause my music that you guys can't hear, and I'm going to put on my break timer, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. A quick break compared to recently what I've been taking. A minute less. Uh, all right. So if it's true, it updates this. And if it's false, it does that. So the question mark is the if. Man, I gotta lock that shit in my head. So that is, so if you pass in the number of subordinates, maybe let's check something because I'm thinking, man, there is a lot of typos in here. Where did this sentence go? The recruitees. It doesn't know what that word is. We pass in this, so this is setting in. I was thinking maybe this wasn't getting set right. But the population data number of subordinates is getting set, and then it's checking for this, and this is checking the spin box value, so it's less, but we could also have it check the count. We can do it on both. Can't we? And so we would just pass in the population data. We wouldn't have to check the spin box value because the spin box value. Wait. We would pass in this value. What is this value doing? This is setting. So this is the value that we've set. This is weird. I think we can just pass in a population data here. I think we can get away with this. And what we can do is here, we don't need this value anymore. We can check if the count is less than the population data dot hero subordinates. No, assigned. What was that shit called? Number of subordinates. Let's rename this to number of subordinates wanted. So this is going to check the how many they have, and if it's less than that, it puts them on recruiting. Otherwise, they're set on idle. So then let's go back to our token movement here and get rid of this one and get rid of this. And then I think maybe we have something else that has to happen. You know what it could be is it actually needs to update this. It does. No, when I clicked on this, it should have refreshed this. And I kind of don't like that when your guys are moving. I know I did this deliberately. I remember talking about this, but I kind of don't like it that when your guy is moving, it goes off of him. He's no longer selected. The idea was that see, so we got the recruit is happening there. The idea being, so actually when I right click, it changes this thing back to this because they're on move. Maybe we should be having this not shown at all when they're moving. And there's so many little details like this that really bog down the creation of what I'm doing. So clicking on this is not checking this though. So when we click on this, we need to check. Well, let's see what happens at 4 a.m. Yeah, so when we click on a place, we need to check that it's if they're recruiting or not. But this should have fired, it may have fired this off, but it doesn't know to check on the player, whatever, the player controls. So I want to look at this one more time. I think we can do it with this. When he goes to here, it turns off because he's no longer in here, and you got to click on here. Yeah, that's the problem. When you're clicking here, it's not checking, it's not updating this correctly. So let's look at the player controls, because it may just be that I was doing the same thing as I did before, where I wasn't updating everything to try to be like lazy. Not lazy, less performance, but I'm not going to worry about that, I don't think. Where am I going here? Player controls are not a public class. Every time I mess with this, though, I think I'm messing with the other one. The one in the map editor. Yeah, so this unhandled input, if I change this to unhandled input, it will solve some of those click-through issues that I have. This does have update everything. So what does update everything do? Yeah, it does regenerate the hero panel list. And so this is the thing. Oh, this is another one of those things. This should be going through. No, this is not the. There's two of them that are very similarly named. It's kind of a labyrinth here. Spaghetti code. We need to get to that thing. This populate activity H boxes. I should clean up all of this spaghetti code, but it's so it goes through, and he's definitely recruiting. So every time I click on this, it should be updating all of these things, but I think it's hitting something. Yeah, I do need to spend one day. I just got to go through and like rewrite all of the craziness of how this works. I mean, it's not that bad. Like the rewrite won't be terrible, but like look at this shit, man. So it goes through each hero. This song is dog shit. You guys can't hear the song, but it was dog shit. Just trust me. So look at all this. So one of these things is going wrong is what's happening. If the check if player faction so this, whoa, I KD'd it and it jumped me somewhere here. Generate the heroes, update their name and icon, check for available activities. What does this actually do? I feel like I'm... This is some, I see, this is some weird... I know what that is. All right, that's fine. It's just up here more. Check to see if the hero is part of the player's faction to determine what to show. Once we add the ability for heroes to do things in every faction will change this. Currently, we are just making it so the hero activity boxes are hidden. Doesn't seem like we're doing anything with this. Where are we using this? We put the location. Okay, we're using it down here. Wonder why we put it above this thing, though. Are we using that? What? I'm going to move this, but it's probably going to cause some sort of chaos here. put it right here. Set default UI. This needs to be up here because we're fucking with the spawn hero button below. So we hide both of these things, and one of them is turning it back on, but it's turning on the wrong one because it should be recruiting. So we're hiding both of the secondary activity and the aid activity, which should probably be called primary activities at this point, but let's fuck it right now. So what is this? This thing populates them depending on what they're doing here. This changes these checkbox and stuff depending on their activity, which is what we want, but then it's hiding the wrong thing, basically, is what I think is going on. So it's hiding both of these, which is what we want, but then it should be after this. What does this thing do? This is hiding both of them as well. So at this point, they're both hidden. Both of these UI things are hidden because it's hit the set default UI. So I'm going to delete these. Is spawn. This is disabled. Not hidden, but disabled. Okay. I should copy paste this whole thing in a chat GPT and be like, what the fuck is this thing doing? Can you improve this would be another thing. Check if the location of the hero is in a non... Isn't that what this does? Check if the hero is not player owned. All right, but this should have taken care of hiding those things. This is different, but that's fine. This checks if the location of the hero is in a non-player owned account. All right, so maybe that's why this is commented out here, up here, commented out up wherever it went. In that other spot, because we're checking it down here. Okay, so if this checks if the location is in a non-player owned county. If it's true and this is false, it's going to show the spawn hero button disabled is true. Hero list button is okay, and then it's going to hide the activities because we can't do any activities currently. If this is a player hero, but in an enemy county, they can't currently do anything. So that's what that is. Then we skip. We skip out of here. We're done with that. If this is, so let's say now, okay, so now we're going to go to our next thing that we're checking here. Is this in here army equals true or their activity is set to recruit, we should be showing this. We should be showing the secondary one. Is it maybe behind this? Are we seeing both of them? Let's see. Let's check our remote county. So like if I was working on my other game right now, it would have already fixed itself. This would already be fixed. I don't know how. I would just like delete one line and then it would just be fixed. Okay, so it is hidden. And this is or. I was thinking maybe we had this as I or as. So it almost seems like this isn't set to recruiting. He isn't. He's set to idle. Why is he set to idle? So this might be right. There's a lot of weird things it checks in here that I think we could combine the checks and make it better. But why is he set to idle? So he is moving. He reaches the county. Check for recruiting activity. Let's double check this. Maybe I have this in the wrong, like, no, this is the count of subordinates that, so in this current situation, he has 1. And the number of subordinates wanted is 3. So if this is true, he should be on recruit, but he's on idle. Did I let 4 a.m. pass by? Doesn't look like it. We can move him just to see. Double check here. Yeah, he's on idle. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I was hoping, just I put a GD print and see what this number is. I was hoping I could figure it out. I also was hoping I need to start using these, like, there's a way to, like, watch this thing. You know what I mean? I need to start using the tools that I have. I don't know what to do or how to do it. Or I saw somebody do it. I think it was the Created by Critters guy. He, like, somehow set, like, something over here where he was watching this variable without a GD print, I don't know how he did it. It was great, though. And he was, like, just clicking through each method as it went along in his code to see what was changing. That's what I got to learn how to do. Because that would be so much easier than putting GD prints everywhere. Then I got to go back and take them out. I watched the beginning of a tutorial on how to debug better. And the guy was like, I was using GD print, or I was using print to console or something all the time like a Neanderthal. It's like, oh man, I'm a Neanderthal. And like breakpoints and stuff, like you can click these. I don't know. Right click to edit. Yeah, like I think you can put stuff in here, and obviously you can put stuff in there. All right, turn this off. All right, we are just going to do the GD print thing. I was thinking, where's this set? Let's double check where this is set. It's right here. It's not there. This is the value, is right here. And this is fired by this signal. And we actually have a GD print here. So we can look at this and we can look at the other one. Let's look real quick though, because it should have already been, I clicked on it. Number of subordinates does match, so nothing. Oh, this is checking all the AI people. Oh, look, I gotta use that other thing. The method I just wrote, I need to replace that. So this is the number of subordinates. So that is, yeah, so that is being assigned. Let's go to back, and I guess recruiter. We'll do GD print. Actually, yeah. No. We're going to go into here. Nope. I guess we got to do it here. I was thinking we could do something more fancy, but no, it's we don't want to do that. $. Hero. Whoops. No. Hero subordinate. That's wrong. Subordinate count. No. That's close though. Population data. Hero subordinates count. And then versus, yes. Now Let's see what this is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Every time I think that like I'm not passing, like I'm passing a copy, not a reference, I'm actually passing the reference. And then every time I think I'm passing a reference, I'm passing a copy. Just like a regular occurrence here. So we put this to here. We close this. We can actually, what did I put? Hero subordinate count. Okay, so this is 0 of 4. That's what we want. So that's, now let's go back to here. Let's spawn this person. And let's go to here. See, that definitely needs to change while they're moving. I have a feeling that's part of the problem there, is this thing being turned on when they're moving. And then 0 to 4, that's right. But what is causing them to be, there's got to be some other code somewhere else that's setting them to idle here. It's probably, we reparent them, we add them to this list, if this is less than this number, set it to recruit. Else set them to idle. There's got to be some other place where we're doing something to this, to their activity. So on token movement, and it may have been like a catch-all that I put somewhere, like if they get there, they always got to be idle or something, and it just puts them in as idle, but now it's screwing me, you know what I mean? So here's their start movements. That shouldn't, so they're set to move there. So then we check for defenders on the way, check if retreating. They get to reach destination. I bet you there's like something at the end of this is like set to idle or some dumb shit. Update everything. Their destination is -1. Okay. Update token textures false. Add to destination county. What does this do? We could search in here for update activity. Here we go. What's this? Look at all these. Okay, here's our problem, is right here. It's literally right after the thing we ran. So this is what we updated. Hero reached, and then this is setting him as idle. So why was I setting him as idle? I gotta think about because it was supposed to be, but it's when they start their activity, it's setting them as move. So let's say you moved a person from one county to the other and they're not recruiting, you would want them to be set. So what we would do, didn't we just check this though? Don't we check this right here? We do, we check it right here. So what we can do, so basically it was like a catch-all at some point. Where the fuck is this thing? Go back up to here. Just take me up here. Get rid of this. And then get rid of this. Now, let's see what's going on here. God damn it. There's this like, God, what is the name of that band? If I can remember the name of the band, I'm looking through this list. I don't see him on my list, but there's this band that came out that got famous. It's like, I don't know what type of music it is. It's shitty music. So this band that got famous, oh, the Mountain Goats? Is that the name of them? The Mountain Goats? I think it might be the Mountain Goats. Anyways, they came out, and like I remember, 'cause, you know, I live in Portland. I make it sound bad. I love Portland, but they came out, the Mountain Goats. I think it was the Mountain Goats. and the singer has a particular twang to his the like a certain level of whine to his voice when he sings, and then like 400 bands copied him, and for some reason it's always suggesting these bands, and they sound identical to the Mountain Goats, and I don't like the Mountain Goats, and so YouTube is always suggesting these bands. I'm like, fucking A, skip this garbage. It's just yeah. So anyways, that's the story of that. All right, so this guy's recruiting. It said recruiting on his activity. This is checked box correctly. We got to spawn him. We're going to go to here. Okay, we're going to check. There we go. So that was the problem. We probably have unintentionally caused some other issues for me in the future, but we're okay. So we can uncheck this if we want, but we got to fix this other thing. So when it's moving, this should probably just be gone. The problem is, well, what if we click this button? No, that one will break things. What if we click this button? Does it stop them from moving? No. Yeah, we got to do something about that. There's all these like little things that are like every little thing needs a thing that you got to check. I think we'll just close both these down when it's moving. So like on start move, see, we're removing them from research. We're updating their activity, update current county improvements. That's if they were working there. It turns them off. It sets their destination and check if they're defender, check if they're retreating, and then the move token is set to true. We also need to turn off their stuff. We want to turn off both. So I think what we want to do in this case is under our hero panel container. I think we want to write a method that turns those off. Is this thing attached to here? Yeah, so we'll have it, we'll just write a method instead of having, because I'm calling it like 10 different places are calling this at this point and turning these things off. So why don't we make this like a public thing. So get secondary checkboxes, deselect all other checkboxes, spawn the hero activities. I'm just making sure it's not already here and I just haven't used it. All right, so let's put it like right here. Public void hide. Let's rename this thing too while I'm doing it. This is going to be the primary activity. So we got that. And we're going to try to stick to just having to hide primary activities. And we'll just do like primary activities, visibility equals false, sure. And then we're going to have another one that's public void hide secondary activities. We should probably call this not activities though. HBox container. And then this probably says it can be used, you know, whatever. But we're going to use it right now. So on this guy, on start move, does this thing know? I don't think this thing knows. Let's move this to token movement. We're in token movement. I know, all these yellows down here. I'm going to get to them. I'm trying not to get too distracted on it, though, because I keep, like, you know, as I'm, like, I see my mouse going down here, it's like, heroes is spelled wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually really quick to fix. It's like 3 clicks. true is redundant. No, we're not going to fix that. We're going to look at it again later. Back to what we were doing, though. So on move, I think what we can just do is set it right here. But I don't know if we... Do we know the hero panel container? I don't think it's assigned to this token or anything. It'd be nice if we could just assign it, do it right there, but I don't think it's actually... Let's look at our token here. Hero token. All right, it's not in here. So where it would go... My comments, I try to keep them... So I try to make them funny for my future self, so I get a little chuckle out of them. It doesn't always work, but oh my god, don't look at that. Look at this thing has a line under it. Don't look at that. We don't want to get sidetracked. All right, so when it's moving, what happens? Does it update everything? Update activities. It doesn't update. So what it's doing, I think, when we go to move well, you're already moving. Okay, so when we're here and we click on this, so I right-clicked and it did update this. So something has to be refreshing. Let's go back to the player controls. I'm looking for something to close, but we need all this stuff. Look at this. Look at this thing. So right click. There's our left click. Move selected token. Move selected token. It has there's various things that it depends on certain stuff. So it looks like move selected token is using all of these. Declare war. Okay, so it's this update everything is what's causing that to... And so we're back to this generate the panels list, and then we generate the heroes. So at this point, it's on move. So this should be on move, and we don't actually have a thing for move. So that's actually, no, that's a different spot. So we got to put another, if it's moving somewhere. Because we've changed. I think we wanted that thing there before, and I don't want it there anymore. I change my mind all the time. Check for available activities. We just basically need a thing that says if it's moving. So here's the recruiting thing. I wonder if we could put it towards the top and just have it man, I kind of want to do it. Once again, this is just going to catch it, slow everything down. There's going to be no forward momentum because we're going to be working on this stupid box for 6 months. I kind of wanted us to put moving. Moving activity. It says move. It would just say moving and then to where. Jesus Christ. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then it says where it's going. Where Joan's going to. Because that would be kind of useful to know. You click here and you see they are moving. Look at this one. It's good. I got a red one. Oh, it's that thing. I gotta skip this other song. So I was thinking about back to the music thing where the mountain goats came out and everyone copied them. It's basically the same thing happens in video games, music, TV shows, like the minute something's a success, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Some bands will even like change their sound. I was listening to Danzig, and it added one of his like industrial songs because he, for like I think 9 Inch Nails was a big hit or something, so he like put out like an industrial album. I don't know, it wasn't, barely industrial. Um, it's weird. People just chase that money, man. Okay, so let's do that. We're gonna add another. We're gonna add another fucking panel. This is never gonna end. We're gonna be working on this one panel for all of eternity. Here's our hero panel. We got this panel. Let's zoom in here. So we have the secondary activities. We got this is now called primary activities. Oh, it probably actually broke. Didn't I rename that? I sure did. All right, then we'll put a third one in here. And we'll just actually duplicate this, and we're going to movement activity hbox. So I think one of the other reasons why my other game that I secretly work on is so much easier than this one is I don't give a shit. I'll see something like this where I'll be like, sure, it'd be nice if the player knew if this hero is moving, and I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck the player. And I'll just keep working on what I'm working on. These aren't going to be check boxes, though. We're going to add a label. Fuck them is what I say. And we'll just hide this temporarily because I want this label to look how we want it. We're going to say moving from to whatever. From to whatever. And then we're going to make this thing. Let's mess with some label settings here. I would like you to expand. I would like you to be centered, please. And centered again. And then, yeah, we'll delete this garbage now. All right. So then we're going to go back because we haven't made this complicated enough. We're going to go back over to here in our hero panel container. What is this yellow thing? Oh, it doesn't know. It doesn't know. We're going to make another one of these, actually. It doesn't know that I'm going to use this yet. Hide movement activity hbox container. And we're going to add this here. I bet you I could have added it down there. Public hbox container. Movement activity hbox container. And movement false. Wait, why is it doing visibility? Why isn't it just saying show or hide? Does it matter? Why are those different? All right, we haven't really used this yet, though. And so now we have that in there. How much time do I have? 15 minutes? I can wrap this. No, I can't. All right, so on start movement, we're going to want to show that. And then what we'll do is we'll populate it. Man, this is a better way to do it than I'm currently doing it. what we'll do is we'll do, see, the thing is, yeah, we'll do it this way. Show movement activity hbox. I was thinking we could do on visibility change, but it doesn't matter. We'll have this when it's shown. We'll have it populate this stuff here. So we'll do movement activity box container get child 0. We'll say this is a label here. Label movement label equals get child. We need to put a thing. We need to spell some stuff right too. Yeah, maybe next stream I'll go through and make sure that we're like concentrating and getting rid of these typos and stuff. And then this label, we have a bigger thing here. I guess we'll actually put that at the end. Movements. We're gonna have a few weird things happen here because there's a lot of moving parts. So for this, the movement label, label dot text is going to equal something. We have to go to our localization and update it. The other thing I'm not doing in my other game is not doing the localization because I don't give a shit. Because I'm going for speed over quality. I don't know. And it's kind of a nice. So how do we want to do this? What do we want this text to say? And then we'll figure out what we want to translate here. So if we put in the word moving, and then we put like an arrow, moving, we don't even need to put in we don't need to translate shit. This is what we do. We go like this. Give me a $sign. We don't have do we have a population data in here? We do. I guess I could have just started typing. Population data. I want to complete one word. Alt. I guess that worked, but that wasn't really what I wanted. Location, I think, is an int, though. Yeah, location is an int. So what we need to do, there is a thing. I don't remember where I put it. I think it's in like globals or something. Get county ID, county data from location ID. So what we'll do is we'll go county data, current location equals this. And it doesn't work though. You can't just translate well, I mean, that's what I'm doing, but it also doesn't work. Both doesn't work. But yeah, no, I'm going to keep the keys the same way. Because like I said, there's like a thing. If you look online, there's a list of popularly translated words, and they do the keys that way. So there we go. Current location, and then we're gonna go current location county data, current location county data, county name, and then we're gonna go like this. We'll put a little line too. Whoops. Oh my God. There we go. And then we're gonna go the same thing here. County data. destination, location, county, data equals. Look at what it's suggesting. That couldn't possibly work. And then we're going to go destination, county name. And what do we got here? We got something weird going on there. Got something weird going on there. Yeah, I try to keep it like best practices if possible. So hopefully this, I mean, it's not going to look like this. See how this made this like a nice little arrow? I don't think it's going to look like that. So this, when now we have this token movement, it actually isn't. We need to have it check when it updates everything on the county info panel, and it needs to run that. And we also need to have that default UI thing hide. I don't know why this one's below that. Hero prefab, we're not using that term anymore. Movement activity hide. So we're going to hide all of these things. And then back here, hero name. Yeah, so on this one also, I'm trying not to like worry about like leave all that because it's going to be devastatingly difficult to update the localization later. I'm trying to do it as I go along because otherwise it's going to be so much work to go through it. So if I have the Spanish one and the English one set, then people can just add in, you know, their own things if they want to. Instead of having to, like, let them deal with the extreme agony of it all. And someone will have to double check the Spanish one, though. The Spanish one's going to be not good because I'm using Excel's translation thing. I'm just assuming it's terrible. So populate, I feel like we can use this. This is a weird, I know what this is doing, and just, it's weird. I think we could combine that as well with the other thing. This is like checking if there's available. I guess we can't combine it with that switch. So this switch, it updates everything after. So I'm thinking about when movement is fired in token movement, it runs update everything somewhere. No, it was after you click. It's when you click, it runs update everything. So right clicking, you know, which makes you move, it updates everything. So it's going to run through there. You're already set to move. No. Yes. No. It's running the start movement. So you would already be set to move at this point that it's updating everything. So over here, yeah, so that's the set to move is already happening there. So then when it goes through here, we probably could use this switch and put move in there because it's already on move. Wherever this switch went, I'm in the wrong spot. This switch, if their activity is move, what kind of order is this in here? Oh, I see. It's an order of the checkboxes and the activities. So if we did this, move, we'll put move last. Case all enums activities move. if this is set to move, we want to change. Deep in thought there. Once again, if I spot check it, that's where I'll hit, and I'll be like, am I streaming in that? Am I stuck? We're gonna go hero prevab, show movements, and then what did I have this do? It sets all the labels already. I wonder if that will work. We need a return in here. A return? Aren't these usually breaks? C# switch. Why are these returns? Is that one? I wonder why, if that's why this particular switch. No, that has combat and stuff. Why are these returns? Is this just a typo and it works? Or like a mistake? Shouldn't these be break? It probably, because it's... Is this in a loop or something? No. I wonder if I just typed this in here and it let it fly and it didn't warn me that... Now I might be like screwing myself for some other part, but... I think these are supposed to be break here. And you know what we could do? Since it doesn't have all of these in here, we should put the default in and we'll like GD print something. GD prints. What is this thing called? Populate. Is that what this is called? Populate activities HBox. Populate activities HBox. Is missing an activity. That way. What's your problem here? Oh, we need the break. Can't be returned if there's nothing to do after that. Hopefully that's what was going on. I wonder where this was. Like, I wonder if that was like some other side. Let's go back to it here. We have 3 uses of it. There are things after it. But do you mean in that same method? Okay, so this should now do something. I actually was wondering earlier too if this needed to be shown on that in the same method. Try to, like, once again, I try to keep it like the standards, because then I don't know, I can never remember break, return, and continue. I always have to look them up because I always feel like I'm using them wrong, even when I'm using them right. Okay, so we never put this in our hero container here. Yeah, using get child and drag and dropping them, they both have the same problem. There's no cure for if you're moving stuff around, you're gonna still have the same issue. So I right-clicked there. It should have hidden those. Something else is overriding it. Something else is turning them on. Like this right here. So yeah, this thing is kind of a clusterfuck. I've been like adding to it as time passes, and you can see like where some of it is pretty old, and then there's some of it is just like a method. So this is newer stuff. because I don't do it this way anymore, where I don't just put everything in like a, I just don't throw it in in there because it's easier, and I should probably, and we already saw that at one, was it in this thing or was it in the other thing? There was another part of this where it was doing the same thing twice, sort of. So this is going to make them all hidden. Just double checking here. And then after this, see, we're hiding, and this should also have, it should already be hidden at this point though. See, this is the same thing. It's like we're running into this, we already did this. And I think they were up here. This should already be hidden at this point, because this sets them all to hide. And then this, if this could be a little switch, but this is so if this is an army, man, I shouldn't have made these separate. Or if they're recruiting, we have a continue here. So this is going to skip this. When we hit here, it's going to skip all this stuff down here. And it's going to go to the next hero. But it's going to, in this particular case, it's going to get to here. And this is going to show the secondary one. This is going to show the primary one. But in reality, we need a third thing, which is if you're moving. But we also could just go, we could do the same thing. What's down here? Hero list button disabled. Hero list button disabled equals, what is the hero list button? We need our hero token to look at that, because I can't remember what that button does. And this thing should be in some weird spot. Is that what we're setting up here? No, this is, why did I call this thing the hero prefab? Jesus Christ. Hero list button. It is an actual button, which, I mean, that makes sense. Okay, so this is the whole thing, the whole button. That's a dumb name for that. And that when you click on this, it goes to your, to here. So that is, yeah, that's a dumb name. We should rename it. Hero description button. And then we're going to have to build it and drag it over. See, I guess if I renamed it and I was using get child, I wouldn't have to do this dragging over part. So that is an argument for using get child. I generally don't like it, but I just gotta have to accept it. I just gotta have to accept that get child is what I'm gonna have to do here. Running at, oh, I'm over my time. I'm gonna try to wrap this up here. Just making sure that I didn't forget to do something there. Once again, the way I would do this now was I would have it when this is instantiated and this is on ready, it would run a bunch of this shit. It wouldn't have this thing running all this stuff. It would know what it was supposed to do when it was instantiated, if that makes sense. And so this wouldn't have all of this populating all this crap. It would just instantiate it, add it as a child, and set this thing. Probably not in this order. I'd probably set this above adding as a child. And then when all of this other crap would be in the hero panel container. And the hero panel container would know what it's supposed to do with itself instead of having this thing. I wonder if I did this way for a particular reason, or if I just didn't know what I was doing. Because we could, yeah, it could be either one. But all this stuff is checking. See, we're getting, like, all of this is just checking what's in the hero panel container. I mean, I could move it all there. It's not, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Yeah, and like it sets its color and all of this stuff. Like none of this, it's very, I guess it's not that strange. But that's the way I would do it now. And I feel like that's the way I would have done it with Unity too. But that does not solve our current issue. So I could just throw in like an if this is moving, then we do this and continue. What is these other things though? We would want the description button to still work. Hero spawn button. We wouldn't want that because you're moving. Does it currently show? I mean, it's already spawned. Oh, it does. What happens if you unspawn him? Oh, it gets rid of him. So there's all sorts of problems with this. All right, let's take some notes. We aren't going to finish this. Maybe we'll move it all over on next Saturday too. Well, we can just clean up all that code. You know, this is going to keep happening as I run into old code, and especially because I feel like I've changed how I do stuff as I go along. So my old code sucks is what I'm trying to say. So let's do this. Actually, if the hero who's recruiting moves and their recruitment ends, or maybe if the hero has, all right, no, this is, we're going to close. What does this say? We're going to close this because this is changed as well. That still needs to be there. That's a different thing. All right, so what it's really going to do is we need to move. You know, I wonder if the reason why is it was too fast, if something was happening too fast. Like we were instantiating and it was breaking because I couldn't get it to happen, like with call deferred or whatever was happening. But we can do call deferred on that thing. Move. What is this code called? Generate heroes code. It's not really that, it's what's inside of it. Move code that happens after instantiate in the, you know, but this is one of those things like I could get sidetracked doing. Let's not fuck with it. We'll just leave it there. I really want to move it though. It won't take that long, right? Move code inside hero generation to the hero panel container so it runs on ready when it is instantiated. Also add we also could probably get rid of some of those if-thens with like a switch or something, because we could probably rewrite that whole thing to be a lot more smooth. Also add usage of the new movement activity HBox. All right. Because it does look like these two are weird and similar, but it does look like I've just been coming back to this code and throwing shit in here. You know what I mean? Like it's, well, I need it now to do this. So then I add like a new line that says continue, and then I like got to put it in. So we probably could streamline this. And I probably should have asked like ChatGPT and see what it said, because sometimes it like notices things where it's like, yeah, these 3 things could be here or whatever. These things are duplicates. Shit like that. All right, we did that. Let's push this code. I do like another thing I like about Rider is, and once again, it's a small thing, but all these small things add up. Is that you can just click, like there's these little buttons that you can just, oh, I want to look at whatever, and like it's like this thing, which I usually like open, but let's say it's annoying me, I can just make it go away. I know you can do it in Visual Studio. Um, One of the things I don't like is that you have to check this box. There's another thing if you make a new files, you got to check that box too. That's like the one thing so far that I don't like, because you have to scroll down. Man, what a pain in my ass, right? You got to scroll down and then check something. All right, so what the fuck did we do today? We actually got a few things done at the beginning before I started criticizing my own code. We recruitment activities now are being checkboxed correctly, sort of, because we changed how we're doing it. Let's push this crap. Oh yeah, we should raid someone, since I didn't raid anybody yesterday. Since I had to go to the bathroom. Quickly run to in my stream unexpectedly. It's because I ate so much ice cream, All right, let's check out who's available for raidage. Let's see. Some of these people I don't know. I followed some people and I don't know who they are. We can raid created by creators. I'm trying not to raid the same person all the time, but I don't think I raided him last weekend. We could say hi to him. Why not? All right, I'm gonna click start raid here, which does the like 30-second time count, 10-second countdown. So thank you guys for joining me. I will talk to you next weekend, maybe a little sooner. I've been bored lately. So have a good existence. Bye.